like a problem.
From that's a problem.
These guys.
But going back to the walkway thing, just making sure that your walkway is fresh. You've patched any cracks. You've power washed it or cleaned it. That's another curb appeal thing. And then landscaping. Now, I'm not talking like a brand new landscaping plan, but like, making sure that you've seeded those dead parts of the yard, of the grass, that you freshen up the mulch, that you maybe pop in some new colorful plants, put some pots by the front door with some flowering plants in it. Because I found this interesting. Again, Home Again reported that little landscaping like that can have a 401% return on your investment in terms of curb appeal.
Yeah.
Like at first I thought that was a typo. That was such a gigantic number, but
yeah, and I would have been impressed with 400%.
But 401.
That really drives it over the top. But like, so we tell people a lot of times that color counts.
Okay.
And that you don't have to spend a lot of money in big bushes and stuff, but like colorful flowers and maybe a colorful front doormat and just getting things kind of spruced up and as like new as possible. I mean, you want your home to look like a model home.
It's cheerful.
Yeah,
the color
cheerful, happy.
Cheerful.
People should walk up and be like, this is a cool place to live.
Cool. So that's it. I mean, just those few things can help with the curb appeal immensely. So that's one part of the wow factor. The other thing, I think, number 3, like we've got wow factor, we've got a curb appeal, we've got to get our interiors kind of ready, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what people can do. I think you have control really over how your home presents itself online and when people visit it. So what are the things that owners can do to make it show ready and attractive?
Well, all kinds of things. I mean, you want to delight the 5 senses. You've heard this one,
Not
right?
one I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, you want to delight the 5 senses. So you the biggest thing you can do is get cleaned up and start packing. Most homes need to be decluttered. You want to make sure that there aren't any evil odors lurking in the house, and maybe put some good ones in, like bake me some chocolate chip cookies. That always helps. So.
Well, yeah, decluttering is key. I think you should aim for trying to get rid of about 1/3 of your stuff. And I don't mean throw it away, although it is a good time. You're moving, right? You're going to be moving. It's a good time to be boxing things up and deciding what you keep and taking with you and what you're getting rid of. Light, I think, is huge.
Light is natural light is a deal maker. I remember specifically a home where we took the blinds down and it sold for more than anyone else thought it would.
Yeah, making sure you've got you take the screens off the windows, you've cleaned the windows. Yeah. We love a local window cleaning company called Gwindows. And oddly enough, we serendipitously ran into the owner of Gwindows at Disney.
Repeatedly.
On the flight there, on the flight back, and in between. But we've been using Gwindows for years. They're a great company that can help kind of take the grime off the windows, help you take the screens down and things like that. That's big. Opening up blinds and curtains when you're showing it and having your photos made. Also, I think people don't want fixer-uppers anymore.
No. It used to be people were okay buying something and then doing a project, but I think people have gotten to where they want to come to Austin and start working and start enjoying being here and having their life.
Right. So one of the things we do in that regard is like think about the little things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money that make your home move-in ready and maybe bring it a little bit more on trend and a little bit more current. So that could be simple things like changing out faucets or adding hardware to changing the cabinet hardware, touching up wall paint, you know.
Cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, little stuff. And let's see, other things that we can do to get the house. Personal mementos are tough. Like we have a lot of family photos in our home and a lot of people do, but to some degree, you really want to limit that because when someone comes into the house, you want them to envision what it's like for them to live there. You don't want them to get caught up in your vacation mementos and photos. So really try to pare those things down and clean. You mentioned cleaning. This is the time to bring in, I think, a professional cleaner. I'm going to confess here, right? Like I am.
Be worried?
No, I don't remember the last time I cleaned our baseboards.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't remember the last time I got on a ladder and took down the covers off the lights and emptied out the dead bugs, right? But that's the kind of thing that I don't notice because I live in our house, but a buyer's going to come into your home and they may notice. So you want to make sure that you do those things and you get that stuff taken care of.
Deep cleaning is a good idea.
For sure. And then repairs along those same lines. Like I've kind of, I know that the floor creaks next to our daughter's bed and I've sort of forgotten that. But a buyer may be like, whoa, what's wrong with this? Or, hey, this light cabinet, cabinet light doesn't work. So you want to make sure that you're doing some things there to just take care of those little minor repairs and things. The other thing I would say is staging.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about staging.
Absolutely. Staging, I was in 2008 or so, I had decided that staging was just silly. It was just a way to extract money from sellers and all that stuff. And I went to this conference. I came back and I decided, well, gosh, I'll give it a try. And I did. It was the Berg's home. If you're out there, Matt and Marla. And they did everything the stager told them to do. And sure enough, the house sold for more and way faster.
Yeah, staging helps people that are living in their home kind of figure out where and how to put the furniture to make it most welcoming to buyers. If the home's vacant, they can help bring in furniture to give people that idea of what it would be like to live there. You were going to say?
Yeah, well, one of the things that people often have questions about, maybe you don't know it's a question you want to ask yet, but we have staging for vacant homes, and then we also have what's called occupied staging, where they come in and help you edit your furniture or move things around so that it fits well and within your lifestyle.
The thing I would say also about staging is to think about putting your home back to its natural purpose. Like as owners, we use our homes in a way that not everybody would use. Like you may love having your Peloton bike in the middle of your bedroom.
I would love that.
Or the living room in front of the TV, right?
Yeah.
Or you might have turned a bedroom into a home gym. You might have, who knows, right? So think about taking those things and putting them back to their natural intended purpose, because while you love your Peloton in the middle of your bedroom, other people may be very confused by that, and it's distraction, and you don't want distractions. You want people to be able to look at the house.
No, that's exactly right. Architects spend a lot of time coming up with plans for how houses should be built, and usually that's the best case for how they show.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, okay, we want to create a wow. We want to have curb appeal. We want to work on getting our interior in tip-top shape. Number 4, this is a big one for you.
For me.
For you.
Uh-oh.
Get your home pre-inspected.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tell us why.
Well, because in a negotiation, I feel naked if we haven't pre-inspected.
What's that mean?
Well, so real estate's one of these funny businesses where most of the time as a seller, you don't know the full condition of what you're selling. And the way you figure that out is you get a pre-inspection. And then you disclose all of that to the buyer. You say, hey, look, here's what we know about the house. And then that buyer's expectation is set. And nobody has to negotiate that after you get started. It prevents deals from really falling apart.
It reduces the drama and the stress.
It's defensive in nature. We don't use it as a laundry list for the sellers to fix all the things there. What I coach people to do is to fix what they would if they were going to stay. Don't worry about things being up to code. Nobody can keep up with what's today's code because it changes every year, all the time. So just breathe easy. Your buyer's going to find out about your pre-inspection, or they're going to have an inspection, so they're going to find out everything that would be there anyway.
Right.
So you might as well do it up front.
Well, I think it's fascinating too, because if I'm selling my home and I get a pre-inspection and I figure out that I need a new roof, I get to make a decision at that point. I can either repair my roof and eliminate that issue completely, or perhaps I adjust my price to take into account that there's going to need to be some roof work done. And so again, we know going into that, I've got a choice to make, and I'm in control of that from the beginning, rather than dealing with the buyer kind of trying to renegotiate those issues on the fly when you're caught up in the emotion of the deal.
Exactly. Most importantly, it prevents deals from falling apart.
Yeah.
Or most of the time. I mean, it doesn't completely prevent it. We have a deal right now that's having trouble for financing, but not because of an inspection issue, which I think is really a nice feature, especially when we're selling our older homes, and not everybody gets, that they're old and what that means.
Cool. So this brings us to number 5 and number 6 on our list of tips for sellers. And these are 2 that are hot buttons for me.
Oh, I know. I took a peek, and I know what's next.
All right, number 5, professional photography. So real estate is my second career, right? I came to real estate after 17 years as an attorney representing school districts in Texas. And it really shocked me. Living with Paul and being married with Paul for so long, I was exposed to real estate.
That shocks me too.
Yeah, I was exposed to real estate, and I was always looking at houses with you, and I would surf things online. I became a little bit of a house junkie, but the thing that would shock me is that there are so many realtors out there that really don't give their clients homes the best chance that they can to sell. If we go back to that moment of creating a wow factor, right? That starts with those online pictures. That means your photography is incredibly critical in making sure that your home grabs that buyer's attention from the very beginning. I have seen pictures of realtors where they're taking pictures with their cell phones. Not that cell phones aren't good, but like they're dark, they're not brightening, up the shadows, and you can't really see anything. Dark and out of focus pictures don't cut it. You need to have a professional photographer who's using a professional camera. Most realtors, we certainly invest that money in our sellers and trying to make sure they get good exposure. You want to take interior and exterior pictures. We like to showcase the community that the home is in to try to give people an idea of what it's like to live in that particular neighborhood. Making sure you have the lights on. And then here's the other thing.
Just another hot button.
That's another hot button.
It's just the same one.
It's related. So one, I get really agitated when I see realtors that are lazy, okay, and don't invest the money in getting their listings seen and shown in the best light. The second thing that agitates me is that when you put your home for sale, or your realtor puts your home for sale in the MLS, there are 40 spaces for photos. 40, okay? I see realtors all the time that don't go to the effort of putting all 40 pictures online to showcase that property.
Well, you could save $10.
I know. I'm about to get to that.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's just that they're being cheap and lazy, because there are packages for photographers, and photo 1 through 20 or 25 photos is a certain price. 30 through 40 is a whole nother price. If your realtor isn't putting up the maximum amount of photos, that means they're going cheap on you, and they're not willing to invest in you and spending more money to get you the maximum amount of photos. And I've had this debate online with some other realtors.
Are you going to tell them about the Facebook lady?
I am. And she was like, oh, in this particular neighborhood in Northwest Hills, the homes just sell themselves. Like you're a part-time realtor, clearly, because homes don't sell themselves. You have to put effort into it. And you may live in a hot neighborhood that has a lot of interest, but I don't care whether it's a 2-bedroom bungalow or $1 million home. We're going to put at Homesville the most effort we possibly can in making sure your home gets seen by as many people as possible. And that means maximizing and using every single photo opportunity in every single 40 slots. So check your realtor's listing. Make sure that they're maximizing the photos. Make sure that they're high quality photos, and use every single one of those to your advantage. And that brings me to number 6. So number 5 was professional photos. Do you want to add to that?
Can we stick on the photos just for a second? So make
fired up.
Well, you were in for good reason. I mean, this is big stuff. It's people's lives, and agents should take it seriously and really do their best. I mean, this is a chance to make people more money with just a little bit of money invested. This person indicated that the market was hot, and so the house is gonna sell itself and all that stuff. But the reason why we do all this and go that extra distance is because we don't want one offer. We want 10.
That's right.
And that makes that much more money. And for me to invest another $20 to get you that much more money, that seems like a pretty good deal and really the right thing for us to do.
Absolutely. And even, it's shocking to me, the one that was such a hot button that started this conversation online, it was $1 million listing in Northwest Hills, and they had, I think, less than 30 photos. Shocking, and a really poor selection realtor, if you ask my opinion. Okay, so next hot button, number 6.
I don't know if I can handle it, honey.
Well,
I may need to get a nice, cool drink of water.
Feel the flames. The next hot button, and the thing that sellers can do to get their home sold, is to harness the power of video. Video is hot, okay? More and more the data is saying, I think it's like 80-something% of all media is going to be consumed via video by 2020.
Yeah.
That train is moving. And then going back to my lazy realtor thing, there are realtors out there that will take photos and basically create a slideshow.
Oh, yeah.
Where like here I am in the living room and I'm zooming in on the picture or I'm zooming out of the picture, and they call that a video.
What?
That is not a video. It is not a video.
It's not a video.
That is
it's
a
not
slideshow.
video like what we envision as a video.
That is lazy. That is, I spent the same money to have the pictures, and I did some like photo thing to create a carousel, and now I'm calling that a video.
That's that same package for an extra $25 instead of the whatever ungodly amount that we spend to do a video.
Well,
I mean,
it's crazy. So we invest a lot of money, and I think most realtors these days, or good realtors these days, will invest money in getting you video. And by video, I mean it could be, you should be thinking about drone videography, aerial videography. We do our 3 favorite things videos. We do property walkthroughs. Sometimes we do lifestyle videos. Whatever is going to work for a particular unique situation of a property to get the most eyeballs on it and the most traction. So harness the power of video and be talking to your realtor about what their plan is to market your home via video.
You know, I really like how passionate you are this love season about homes.
About homes. Yes, I love homes. I love marketing. Okay, now we're back to you. Number 7.
Yeah.
Pricing.
Yeah.
You got to price it right.
Well, you do, and it depends really on what's going on out there, whether you go high or you go low or you go right at market. And it depends on the season and where the momentum of the market is. You know, right now we're really coaching people to price at or a little bit under. So maybe we create a lot of extra interest and whatnot. The previous several years, you know, when the market was red hot and there weren't any homes available and we were getting 10 offers, we were pricing a little bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So
those days are over.
So you really got to stick your finger up in the air and trust your agent understands which way the wind's blowing and take that guidance. That's not always easy to do for folks, but it's an important thing to do, to price it right and price it to move.
Well, and the reason why is because a home is going to be most attractive to buyers when it first hits the market. And if you go too high and your house sits there, it's essentially going to become shop worn, right? And so buyers start to lose interest. And even if you adjust your price later, they may not see it. It may not trigger their interest because they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. I know that. I'm not interested in that property anymore.
Yeah. So all the activity really happens. I don't, maybe you haven't heard all this, but all the activity happens on a home really in the first 4 days, like the life cycle of a listing. It comes on. Everybody that's hot for homes, for that home, will see it like in 4 days. And then it tapers down, and you might have a little activity during the next week and the week after that, but after that, you're really done.
Very true.
Yeah.
So that's 7 things that sellers can do to make a buyer fall in love in their home. Yeah. Number 8, modern marketing techniques. It's another one for me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Look, these days, it is not enough to have a realtor that sticks a sign in their yard, puts it in the MLS, and then just waits for offers to come rolling in. Like, real estate has become a lot more sophisticated and a lot more goes into thinking about how to strategically position and market your home to sell. Well, hello, Kitty.
She's clawing at me, so I'm going to let her be up. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right.
So we want to make sure that you're using all those tools, the professional videography, the professional photography, the aerial photography, but not just that, right? Like, we need to make sure that your home's being seen by the most eyeballs that it can. And that's going to include putting it on all the available social channels. Your realtor needs to have a game plan for putting it out there on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever the channel is at the moment, and then retargeting those. Like, there needs to be email campaigns, there needs to be personal follow-up, there needs to be digital retargeting that's going to get your home again seen and followed up with by those people that showed interest. So I just think that's real important.
I do too.
Okay.
Clearly.
And then number 9, be ready to show. Tell us some tips about showing that would be helpful to sellers, because that can be important.
Well, so there's several different statuses that we put homes out there for ways for people to get access to the home, or for realtors to access it. One is appointment with the occupant and appointment with the realtor. Those are our least favorite, simply because you're going to have fewer showings. Everybody's schedule is going to have to get arranged. And all that stuff. So those showings don't happen quite as frequently. And then there's call first and go, which is pretty standard. So an agent calls first and then heads on over. maybe with a little bit of notice. And then there's go for like vacant homes and stuff. So the fewer barriers you put up, sorry, the kitty's really entertaining me.
Just leave her alone.
Well, I'm afraid she's going to fall and scratch me. There she goes. So the fewer barriers you put in the way, the better you're going to do as far as showings go. People these days are very busy. We often take people out. In fact, it was either last week or the week before, we took a young couple out who now have a home. And we showed them 20 homes all in one day. It was a heck of a day, but we wouldn't have been able to do that if every single one of those listings was by appointment. A few of them were, and we were able to work with that, fortunately. But
well, I'm going to be blunt about it.
yeah, be blunt.
Okay, number one, you need to make it easy for buyers to see your home. If you are buyers want to see your home at times that are convenient for them. Guess what? The times that are convenient for buyers are likely going to be the times that are inconvenient for you as a seller. After work, on the weekend, right?
When they're not working.
When they're not working. So you need to make sure that you try to eliminate as many barriers.
Yeah.
So if you're saying you can only show it between these hours, or I need this many hours notice and all those things, those end up being barriers to people being able to get in and see the home. Also, returning showing calls quickly, I think, is important. Like, you're sitting there scheduling those 20 homes. If someone doesn't call you back, they may not make it into the tour.
Well, yeah, I mean, we call, text, and email, so hopefully we get a hold of people, and we put a little checkbox when we can show it. But if we can't get a hold of them, and we have plenty of homes to choose from, and I inform our buyers of it, they may be like, well, yeah, we kind of wanted to see that, but it's really not that important of a house.
And then get out of the way.
Yeah.
When someone comes to see your home, don't stick around, don't linger, do your quick tidying up. And speaking of tidying up, make sure that the home is show ready. There's no piles of laundry. There's no dishes in the sink. Counters are wiped off and clean. Get the house ready to be seen, and then get out of the house and get out of the buyer's way.
Yeah, let them pretend it's their home.
And if you're not sure about how to get ready and how to prepare your home for showings, we have a checklist. We're happy to send it to you just to let us know. All right, last thing, 10 things.
Is this the 10th thing? We've gone through 10?
We have. This is the 10th thing that sellers can do to help buyers fall in love with their home, and that is hire an experienced and tech-savvy real estate agent.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Why?
Well, because real estate isn't what it was when I first got in. Like
25 years ago.
We had books in the back of the car. It was real easy. You just popped it open and looked, and we'd go to sales meetings and have these sales swap conversations. And now really getting out on the internet's key. A big part of our job is technology and getting the word out there and being able to syndicate things in a proper way. Anybody can syndicate listings by clicking the right stuff in the MLS, but the difference is really how you present that and how you get it out in a very thoughtful way and understanding it completely.
Sure. And this is, in my opinion, again, not the time to hire your cousin who just got their license because you feel indebted to them because they're a family member or whatever. You really want to do some research. Find a realtor who has experience. That experience is going to mean that you have fewer stress and problems that arise in your deal, because an experienced realtor is going to be able to forecast and see what's coming and help you plan for that and deal with it before it becomes a problem. Along those same lines, we see inexperienced realtors, a lot of times those properties are the ones that sit on the market for a long time because they're not being marketed to their best advantage. And I've personally seen you take advantage of those inexperienced agents.
It's not taking advantage of them. It's rooting for our clients.
Okay, well, let me put it this way. Then you use that realtor's inexperience and lack of knowledge to your client's best advantage.
Sort of.
And you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the client who has an inexperienced realtor and has an experienced realtor like this guy come along and beat you up over it because you don't have an agent that knows really the ins and outs of the market. I mean, there's a difference between having negotiated hundreds of deals versus having negotiated 4.
Yeah. I was at number 4 at one point, I mean, these young guys, and I don't mind them being on the other side.
You like it.
Well, sort of. I mean, you got to kind of coach and educate all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, so that's it. That's 10 tips for sellers to help a buyer fall in love with your home here in Austin. Give us a thumbs up if you liked this episode of Calls with Paul. Give us a thumbs up. Tag someone that you think would be useful to hear some of these tips.
Yeah.
We actually have a lot of materials that go along with this. We have pricing strategy tips, the preparing the home for sale checklist, and things like that we're always happy to share with you. So drop questions below or send him a personal message and he will respond. And anything else?
Or call me. I like to talk.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for following along on episode 6, and we'll see you next week for episode 7 of Calls with Paul.
Is love still in the air next week?
It is.
Okay. What are we doing?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.